we start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Everyone join us.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Darcy Cavlin.
Here.
Angela Brown.
Here.
Jasper DeChristopher.
Here.
Tara Shields.
Here.
Jenny Slows. And Jerry Valentine.
Here.
Thank you. Are you gentlemen here with the applicant? Okay, then I am not going to read the adopted policy. I think everybody's familiar with that. Lisa, can you verify that this meeting was advertised?
Is there anything down there that shows that the meeting was advertised in Facebook? The agenda. Or
I was mentioning to the secretary today, we need to start including this in our just general packets.
yeah, usually someone just puts it here on the table. But you want? Can we skip that? I'll verify it in a minute. Cause I'm pretty sure it was.
I believe it was, but yeah.
I'll double check.
Formalities, right? Okay, thank you. We have some meeting minutes from our previous meeting of October 14th. If somebody would make a motion, please, for approval of those meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Yes.
And Angela or Ms. Brown? Or who
Yes.
made the motion?
I did.
Okay, Ms. Brown.
Yes.
Mr. DeChristopher.
Yes.
Mr. Valentine.
Yes.
Ms. Shields. And Ms. Kaplan.
Yes. Okay, so our first hearing tonight, BZC 24-006, Seven Hills of Berlin LLC, application for a final development plan filed by Dries Homes at 211 Grandview Drive, Fort Mitchell, Kentucky, 41017. This applicant is submitting the final development for 61.039 acres, single-family residential development parcel, I will skip that number, at 2338 Cheshire Road, Delaware, Ohio 43015. So, applicant, if you would care to introduce yourself and proceed, thank you.
Sure, thank you. I appreciate your time tonight. I'm Sarah Sanders from Ferris Planning and Design. I'm here to present our final development plan. Colleague will pass out a copy of the presentation for your records. Just to start, we are just showing the side-by-side of the preliminary and the final development plans. So it's basically the same plan. There's no major deviations at all from what was approved on preliminary. Some of the minor changes that you'll see are on the west side. We have a few different locations and configurations of the pathway, and the mounding that was done just for mostly drainage, and because of the power line easement, just some of the needs of AEP and requests of AEP to change those things. On the whole, it's pretty much same location, just a little bit deviation because of drainage and engineering needs. In general, the rest of the site is pretty similar. Most of the changes came in the text. So from the trustees' approval in November of last year, we did include with the final development plan meadow maintenance plan with the mowing schedule and specific instructions for preventing the spread of giant hogweed. I believe that was C6 was the exhibit. And then along Cheshire Road, the pathway is 6 feet, and the pathway along Hyatt Road is 10. And they requested that instead of making those an abrupt change, that there was a taper over 20 feet. So those two tapered together right past to the west of the roundabout area. In June, Dries took over the project and came back before the trustees requesting some divergences to allow for more side-loaded garages. As a result of that, the trustees requested a couple additional conditions. And again, these are primarily text changes, just clarifying some of the structure setbacks and separations for accessory buildings as well as primary structures. There was also some text changes to clarify. There are particular lots that they wanted to make sure that the driveways or the garages did not face the road, and so we specified which direction those were permitted to be facing. And then the last was just the change to specify that sidewalk crossings at interchanges are limited to 2 unless the county engineer requires 3. So that was a text change. Right now, the plans show 3, but it will be 2 just depending on the engineering based on the zoning. The other major difference was just Breeze has clarified the architecture and provided specific elevations of their product that they're planning on putting in this location. So the few slides are just the images of the products that they are planning on placing on the site. So you can see they're complying with the request for the colors that are in the text: beiges, white, light blue, blues, more neutral colors. And there's also a significant amount of natural products, stone and brick on the various facades. And everything else is pretty much the same as it was at preliminary. We're here to answer any questions you have about the changes. That's our presentation.
Anybody want to start with questions?
You want to start out there, or do you want me to start?
Okay, I can start.
Okay.
I looked through your final development, and there weren't, as you mentioned, there weren't a lot of changes. The couple things I thought it looks really good. I definitely appreciate the verbiage on Exhibit D6, which is your meadow maintenance plan, just because there are different varying opinions of no-mow and what that means and how it should be dealt with, and the level of detail to this and describing how you're going to do it, I think greatly helps explain to anybody that might read the packet, this is what your plan is, so it's not just they assume that you just never touch it and it just grows however it grows. So I really like, it spells out even like year 1, year 2, year 3, and so on. So I really like that exhibit as a replacement for just the verbiage of no-mow. So I appreciate that. And then looking through your section 6 of the houses, I didn't realize any issue. The only thing I had was, you talk about side loads, there weren't any pictures that kind of depicted that. I get it, sometimes not everybody has that as kind of a stock photo. So I'm not really all that concerned about it. And to be honest, looking at the products, the differentiation of option to option, you've got single story, 2-story, looking through your floor plans and the options that you provide, not only for additional bedrooms, but in-law suites, bonus areas for families. I think it looks like a great product package for our area to be available to just about anybody who would want to buy in. So there's a lot of opportunity to have a very diverse, not only exterior but interior, I think, too. So different clientele. So and I didn't really have any issues, so that's why I wanted to start.
Thank you.
That was easy. Okay. Anybody else want to go?
One of the concerns I had was looking through the traffic study. It said it required the left end going northbound and left end going to Moss Meadows and the southbound, and I didn't see that really depicted anywhere on the map.
Is it on your engineering plan?
It is on the engineering plan, I don't know, or it should be depicted. It's in the engineering plans themselves, I don't know. I don't recall exactly what.
Glancing through all the maps and everything.
Yeah.
Sir, can I get your name and address, please?
All right, Matt Kirkland, it's Rain Evolution. Address is 7886 Wayside Avenue. That's Delaware.
This is looking on C1. I don't see.
It would be E1 is the engineering, it's labeled as utility plan, which unfortunately didn't make it into my copy, so.
you can't really, from E1, it actually looks like it's just split straight down the center.
Sorry, I'm gonna come up and approach because I don't have a copy in front of me. Okay. I guess the striping didn't make it onto the exhibit, but I can assure you the county engineer is requiring it to be widened with left turn lanes into both subdivisions, opposing left turn lanes into both subdivisions.
I just didn't know how that was, because it said it was 285 feet going in either direction, and how that would impact your, if the road had to be widened, how would that impact the perimeter?
This is, everything that's drawn here is drawn in already accommodating the road widening required for the left turn lane. I apologize if it wasn't depicted clear enough that that's happening, but I think it's just like a layer was probably turned off or something like that. But I can assure you the county engineer is requiring that, and that is part of the engineering package.
And then one thing I remember we talked about from the last time you guys were in with us, was the mounding mounding by the railroad and at the south end. So in reading the requirements, it says where residential zone adjoins railroad, provide 1 tree for 30 linear feet without thereof, and then a continuous 6-foot-high planting, hedge, wall fence, or earth mound. And it says like 4 to 6 on the keys.
So the text is saying 6 and.
It should be 6 feet for a railroad. And I know we put it at a last.
I think some of the, well, part of the reason why we do the 4 to 6 is because, you know, you have tapers of a hill. And so some areas aren't going to be 6 feet just because of the width of space that we have, specifically down here. But I think they're probably, Matt, do you know if there was any drainage issues that caused more areas to need to be smaller or shorter?
I do know we had some wetlands along the west side and a gas easement that they wanted us to avoid, so some of the mounding was,
And it kind of changed and shrunk a little.
I don't know if we can steepen them up to go in taller, but.
I mean, 'cause it's blocking, you know.
Yeah.
I like the way the mounding is done, like how it's kind of goes in and out and covered in that way. But I just think walking from railroad is really important for those houses along the back.
Yeah, we can make sure that it's maximized to 6 feet in as many places as we can.
And then, because on the south end of the property, which it shows more depiction in this is D3, it shows that parking lot from the church, which I know we were kind of talking about considering it like a commercial property, the church property, and that's a vehicular use area. So there are, you know, the trees that are spaced out, so the tree requirements correct, but then you've got all these blank spaces with a 100-foot-high mound, and it's got the same continuous 6-foot-high planting hedge fence or mound.
Requirement or in our text?
As part of the, let's see, where residential zone adjoins commercial use, provide 1 tree per 40 linear foot, continuous 6-foot-high planted hedge fence or first mound. And I think your text only says the mound is 3 feet, and then you have the.
Yeah, I do know that there was a lot of discussion around that at preliminary, between you guys and the trustees. Because it's right next to the temple and there's a lot of potential buyers who want to be able to see the temple and want to be able to cross over the temple, I think there was a lot of discussion, and this was kind of a compromise between what was required and this was kind of like what we came to is what the trustees were comfortable with, what the temple was comfortable with, and what we think that the market is going to allow.
I guess because then, you know, I kind of piggyback that with that area that has the parking lot is like you're talking light shining into people's backyards. And I realize that the potential buyers know what they're getting into,
Yes.
but down the road, you know, if things change at the temple and, you know, people, I just feel like there's not a great blocking of, especially that small vehicular use area. Because if they're pulling in and the trees are staggered, which is the 3 trees, 3 trees, 3 trees, and that's fine, you know, they're still, they pull into the parking lot, there's light shining into the back of the house.
Right, which is I think why we ended up with the 3-foot mound, to kind of block the light shine, like from drivers coming in. 3-foot mound blocks the headlights. The trees are there to kind of help provide some buffer. And then there was some discussion with the temple that they might be adding additional trees and buffer between on their property. But yeah, the mounding was to help with that headlight screening issue.
It is, I guess as long as the trustees are the ones that were, you know.
Yeah, they were happy with that. I know we went back and forth on that one a lot, and everybody kind of seemed happy at the end. So you guys can have a different opinion and want something different. But yeah, the trustees were happy with that.
There's one more. You can go off and off, but I don't. Other than that.
That one's you if you'd like to.
It's been a while. The only real issue that I had I think it was nicely done, is that 5-foot setback for the side loader garages. And I bring it up because it's a nightmare for the zoning inspector to go out and, when there are issues like that, but 5 feet from the property line for the house to start trying to figure out where they are here, if it's documented. Because I know it said 17.5 would be the minimum between buildings.
Right.
But who's on, obviously the 5 foot is the side loader. I think I understand that correctly. It doesn't make sense to have the driveway 5 feet from the.
Yes.
So it's the other side, it's the house.
Correct.
Okay.
So, yeah, the side of the house that would not be on the garage side would be 5 feet from.
And so it'd be 17 feet from the other property.
From any other structure.
Okay. And then we've got some creative developments going on now with all of the front loader garage doors that they're now using a different style instead of just the white. What I see in all the elevations here is using a different type. Was that ever brought up?
Architectural one?
Yeah.
So it is in the text.
Yeah.
It is in the text, but it just wasn't in the renderings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are the only 2 things that I picked out.
Yeah, the side loaded garages, Dree's product, they had some difficulty. They want to be able to offer side loaded garages on more lots. And so we came before the trustees in June to request those divergences. And those separations and those setbacks are only going to be allowed on lots that have side loaded. So if the house that's on a lot does not have a side loaded garage, then it's going to have the normal setback.
Okay.
And the trustees did grant that divergence for those.
Okay. I appreciate that, but I updated a spreadsheet a few months ago on setbacks per subdivision. This totally screws up my effort.
Well, I apologize.
No, it's not. You know, they can fix it. They can do that.
Okay. we talked about the left turn lane. One of the things we didn't talk about though is there a left turn lane out of the development?
So it can be striped for a left turn lane out of the development. The county doesn't necessarily require it to be striped. I don't recall if this one was or not. It is wide enough. They require it to be wide enough to be accommodating for that if it's warranted in the future. And I don't recall it.
It is drawn on there
Okay.
as having a left turn.
Okay, all right, I didn't see it on any of ours. That's why I
It's
was
just
asking.
hard to see, it's really
Okay.
light, but
But
it is.
it is in the plans to have a left turn lane from the development, from the community out onto the road.
Yes,
If that's what you want, we can definitely make
Yes.
sure it's, because the county engineer requires it to be that wide regardless, for any
Okay.
subdivision that's built. So if the striping's not in there already, we can,
Yeah, that, I would make sure that the striping is in there.
I believe it is, but I just.
it is, I can see it, but it might be hard to see. If you look at C1.
Commission members, I just want to clarify one item, and obviously it's very much appreciated anytime an applicant says, if you'd like something, we'll put it in there, but because roads are the engineer's purview, we can't really dictate in terms of the striping and that type of thing.
Okay.
Because theoretically down the line, if something more, I wouldn't want the township to inadvertently walk itself into a situation where someone down the line may think, because something has changed on the roads, is it a zoning violation? Again, anytime an applicant says, we'll address your concerns and do what we want, greatly appreciated, but because that's the engineer's office's purview,
Okay,
I
thank
would
you.
recommend updating.
Okay, thank you.
It's good to know that that's the
Yes.
intent. So-
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right. My next question was, the pathway that's going between, so it's going from this second road in, between lots, 63 and 64, 56 and 57.
Mm-hmm.
I love that there's a pathway, but what we always have happen within any communities that have a pathway like that is we want to make sure that the residents that are living in those homes don't have people just walking through the yards.
Yeah,
So
so
how do
there
we keep
actually
them
is
on
a
the path?
fence on both sides of that.
There is, okay,
Yes.
was that in the text?
We might not have,
I don't think that's in the
we
text.
might not have specified that, but it is the intent to have a fence on the
Okay.
other side of that.
Can we have that in the text then?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Is there a style of fence that, I don't know if there are other, fences that are identified in the aesthetics or architectural?
I would
standards?
honestly keep it with the same,
Yeah, it'll be the
Similar
same
fence as what's up front.
style as the fence
Yeah.
that is elsewhere
Yeah.
Okay.
on site, which I believe is a.
it's a
Is
cross,
a
yeah.
horse-
Is
horse
there a
fence.
reference and all?
There
stuff that
is.
we can do?
Fence is called out on.
That was a good catch. Who noticed that?
And then just making sure that it's extended between lots 18 and 19 as well when it goes.
Okay.
So just all three groupings of those houses.
Okay.
And on 18 and 19, it actually is on its, it looks like it's on its own little sliver.
Yes.
More so than it looks like it is between 63 and 64 and 56, 57. But just want to make sure that there's a path there as well to make sure that
Okay.
residents aren't crossing into people's yards.
Question in terms of we have a draft motion together because this is a change, we'll have to include that in the decision, but so some clarifying questions. Is the path located, that's such a narrow path, is it located on the individual lots or is that just a thin
No.
reserve area?
It's a thin reserve.
Thin reserve area, okay. And, okay. So is their lot line the edge of the path? Or?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell, but basically, you kind of have a thick line
I see
here.
the
That's our
building
fence
area.
line, and it basically is right at the property lines. So the fence line and the property line are essentially the same thing. The fence will be like 1 foot off the property line.
Okay.
Let's make sure you don't have any fencing restrictions on
in terms of setbacks and that type of thing. Okay. Please feel free to continue. I'll
Okay.
just check as we move along.
Okay.
Have we had any restrictions?
Yeah,
on
we haven't. No, not within neighborhoods.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
I love how you have all of the silo garages called out for phase one, but what about for phase two? Obviously, those aren't as easy to put them on, but, and I know that you anticipate more than 22 overall. But what is the strategy behind making sure that you have them?
So I will say with phase one, the trustees requested that in the past, when they've had phase projects, builders wouldn't always put any or hardly any in the first phase, and then they'd be stuck in the second phase doing all of them or most of them. So they required at least half of them be specified in the first phase, just so that it wouldn't be left to the second phase. But they didn't require any specificity on which lots were the silos in the second phase, other than just the fact that the total development would have to meet the requirement of the minimum side level lots.
So what's the strategy for ensuring that the other
Because
lots
they're called
are?
out of how the driveways are placed, you know, for each of those silos on page 6 of the development plan. Like it says lot 44 driveway on Aventine Drive is on the southwest corner of lot. So if that's called out for those in the first phase, then how are we ensuring?
I believe some of those are actually in phase two, so anything that was on a corner, was specified as to which direction. And there's a lot less of those in phase two than there were in phase one, if any. Yeah, there's a couple. I believe that they were all specified that way.
Those are actually all, where it actually calls out how they face. Those are all in phase one.
Andy, Arts and Recreationals, we can track that internally, we'll keep a tracker of the lot count, how many silos of garages we have sold. Obviously, we want to provide the option to buyers to come in, once we're meeting the requirements of the minimum amount of silos. We can keep an internal tracker. I would hate to specify all the lots that require silos.
And I just want to understand what the strategy is.
Yeah.
For ensuring that we don't end up in a situation.
In the past, what we've done is just keep a simple spreadsheet tracker, so we can keep an account of silos and we know how many we have left to sell.
Okay.
Those requirements.
Sir, can I get your address again?
Andy Artsner, it's ARTZNER. Address is 8090 Meadow Chase Drive.
Are you with the company?
Richards.
Okay.
My last one was pretty easy. I don't know if it was left over from something else, but on exhibit C 5-1 or 5.1, there's this funny little gray box. It's right to the back corner of lot 1. I didn't really know what that was.
Oh, it's, I believe it's a drain. It's like one of the locations of the storm drains.
Okay,
Usually we turn off the gray part, it just didn't get turned off.
that's okay. I was
So,
like,
yeah,
what
It's a
is that?
storm drain.
Okay, it's a storm drain. Cool. That's it.
Oh, and to speak to the, if we missed calling out specific directions, those were, the definitions for which, lots had to face certain ways were something that the trustees made us specify specific ones. But it does also indicate in the text otherwise that the driveways and the garages have to face away from the road. So even if it isn't specified, the text does already kind of layout that it needs to be that way anyway.
Yes.
We just try to make some of them more specific because they asked us to.
Okay,
So if we missed some of them, they still have to comply with that.
okay.
It's
I
not
appreciate
facing
that.
any of the roads.
Okay, thank you.
I liked the way those are called out. That just really tells us that it's been well considered. I really liked that. I want to talk a little bit about amenities. I see there's a grill area. There are some benches. I did not quite follow what you talked about with the tapering from 10 foot to 6 feet.
Okay.
So if you can help me with those
Point that
things.
out. So up here, the multi-use pathway along Pyatt is 10 feet.
Right.
The one along Cheshire is only 6.
Okay.
Because they're building a 10-foot one on the other side of the road. So the trustees were like, 6 feet is fine on this side.
Okay.
Previously, we had the 6 feet coming directly and just dead ending into here, and it was 10 from there down.
Okay.
They asked us to just taper rather than making it 6 all the way to here.
Okay.
It tapers from 10 to 6 over a 20-foot, just so that it's not an abrupt change in size of.
And I'm hearing you say there's a 10 foot on the other side, different development. There's not a plan for a crosswalk or anything there, is there?
The only crosswalk is here at the roundabout. We asked them about a mid-road crossing, and I do know that there's a letter that indicates that they said absolutely not, that they would not approve that. So the only crossing we can make is the one that's already at the roundabout.
Okay, but it's only to the center of the roundabout?
No, it goes all the way
It goes all
across.
the way across, okay, okay. Because, I mean, that's a 55-mile-an-hour road, that's kind of terrifying. But yeah, people want to utilize the wider space, they're gonna have to cross there. And so benches, I see them, not really around the ponds, more close to the CBUs, am I correct?
So we have some benches along in here. We have some on the corner of this pond, there's a little look at out,
Oh, okay.
and then there's some along this path over here.
Okay.
They look like trees.
Yeah,
They're hard to see at this
Kinda
scale.
covered up
They're like-
by trees.
like right here,
I mean, I sort of see them, but
like right
is
there.
that
is
what
one
they
of them.
are?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
it, yeah.
Like the overlook, it looks like a group of trees.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you can see the ones at the overlook better on C5.1. And we do have a call out indicating that there's a couple benches there.
Sounds good. Tell me again, price point for these, have you got something in mind? There's,
Yeah, initial estimates will be starting in the mid-60s.
that's really all I have. How about you guys over here? Questions, thoughts, observations? No? Quiet to me, okay.
Tracks really well. It's still under the old code, which is still getting my bearings of, but so switching between one code to another, but otherwise I think everything really makes sense.
They look very nice. I appreciate the thought that went into it, so that's appreciated. So we did have one call out change in the text. If we're going to make a motion for approval.
So I want to make sure I've got the fence in question will go on the open space area between 18 and 19. 56 and 57.
Correct.
And then, my copy's not great, is that 85 and 86?
65 and 66.
65 and 66, okay. And the fence will be consistent with the detail on D-4, the crossbuck, fence, okay. If the zoning commission is willing, could we take just a brief recess while I write that up on a motion?
Okay, recess for 5. Y'all know my gavel.
Do we have something to do during recess or?
Executive session starts.
What's that?
The executive session is.
Maybe we just have a go.
So this is like a shape form, right?
Live, okay. We are back in session, please. So our council has helped us with the language to add to a motion. My understanding, what's Sarah doing?
She disappeared. No, she's back there.
Is she back there? She's
Yes, sorry.
So we always like to ask, is your intention that we go forward with a vote this evening?
Yes,
on this
please.
amendment, on this application, okay. So Angel's gonna make her motion here.
I'll make a motion to approve, what's your name?
I'm so sorry, Commission members, just one point of clarification when you're speaking with the applicant, and I think it's clear, but just so that way everyone's on the same page. Obviously, the focus of the draft that was circulated was in regards to the fence. The applicant just wanted to make clear, obviously, there was discussion about the mounding and that type of thing, but there is no change or amendment in regards to the 4 to 6 mounding, but just wanted to make sure that everyone was on the same page. I think everybody was aware of that, but in speaking with the applicant, we just wanted to make sure everyone was on the same page. So I'm sorry to interrupt.
Okay.
Thank you.
I wanted to say that this was published on the township Facebook site and website on October 17th of 2025. Just for the record.
Are you okay with that, Tara? Okay, so I would like to make a motion to approve the final development plan presented in case number BZC-006 upon finding that the final development plan is consistent with the approved preliminary development plan and is in compliance with the provisions and requirements of the Berlin Township zoning resolution, including but not limited to the provisions of Article 11 with the following conditions. The multi-purpose path located on open space A and located between lots 18 and 19, 56 and 57, and 65 with 66 shall be fenced in a manner that is parallel to the aforementioned lot lines. We're just gonna keep going. The fence shall be located on the open space and shall be consistent with the crossbuck fence design standards set forth in detail D-4. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Kaplan?
Yes.
Mr. Valentine?
Yes.
Ms. Shields? Mr. DeCristro?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you for your presentation and your work.
It made sense after I kept going, but for some reason I was like, wait.
It was, I mean, incredibly wordy, you know, and
Fancy word.
Okay, so, we'll get to this.
So they didn't go home.
They didn't show up.
They didn't even show up.
Well,
Okay.
anyway, we do have another hearing scheduled tonight, BZC 25-004, which is the Family Enterprises, with the application for a zoning map amendment filed by the Hill Family Enterprises in Sunbury, Ohio, submitting to rezone 10.28 acres from neighborhood commercial to planned commercial, and I won't read the rest. However, our applicant, as you may notice, is not here. There are some reasons for that, and Kelsey and Julie both can explain that better than I can.
Sure, I can speak to that. So with the code, the ORC stating that we need to, by the time that we receive the application to when we have the hearing is 40 days. And within that 40 days, we immediately set that application to Regional Planning Commission for their recommendation. But with the alignment of their meetings, the Regional Planning Commission meeting is scheduled for this Thursday, so we don't have that recommendation. So I contacted the applicant under the direction of our legal counsel and made sure to clear that to say, you know, typically, and the commission does appreciate that recommendation prior to hearing the case. So with the developer being out of state, I didn't see it as necessary for us to have him here to ask for that continuance for that reason.
Completely, you have to continue. You don't have the
Right.
recommendation back, so, it makes sense that, you're not making them come across state lines for it.
Sure.
In terms of process, it's a continuance, not a tabling. And so, the commission would need to make a motion, to continue the hearing to a time, date, place certain. I suspect that by your next, meeting next month, you should have that recommendation back and hopefully we'll be good to go.
So with that, I do want to bring up one teensy thing, is that our next scheduled meeting is for Veterans Day, and the office is closed on Veterans Day. But of course, the tricky part about all of this is the next scheduled would be the Tuesday of Thanksgiving, in which the applicant can also not make just because of family plans. So I've talked to the applicant about days that they could come. They are open to coming on Veterans Day, but I also wanted to be conscientious in case we have family where we want to celebrate Veterans Day if folks can't make it. I also talked to them about November 17th, which I believe is Monday, the following Monday after Veterans Day, and they were able to make that. So I said that I would have a couple options for you all just to see how that would stack up for the applicant and their team, but I just wanted to present those.
Okay, well, what do you guys think? I personally do not object to meeting on Veterans Day. I'm not sure if the trustees would concur with that. I don't know, what do you guys think?
We've done it before, I think, haven't we? Yeah, unless it's, someone doesn't want to.
Our three.
I cannot do the 17th.
But the 11th, who could do the 11th? Is that? We don't know about Jenny,
But if Jenny can sit for Jenny, she's not able to.
okay. And Lisa, you are available that night?
Yes.
Okay. Kelsey, does that work for you? I think that's our best option. So.
Because I think the 25th is gonna be, well, they can't make it.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
And the 17th off schedule is on a Monday, I think. Is either
Yeah, Monday's got some problems, I think, for several of us. Okay, somebody like to make a motion that we will have a continuance of this application to November 11th.
Now my only concern is that if there's public that want to attend and they are in observance of Veterans Day.
It's a decent
we
point.
may not have, because they think we're closed on that day. That's the only concern.
So, and that is a fair, point. Residents can submit comment, they can send emails, they can send, letters, that type of thing. That is a fair point.
and if I may too, with the public notices being on social media and on the website too, submitting, maybe we should add an extra excerpt that says to submit comments if you're unable to make it too.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna suggest.
Good idea. I'll make a motion if that's okay. Make a motion, please, that BZC 25-004 be continued for a date certain, which would be Tuesday, November 11th at 7 p.m. here at our building, our office, whatever this is.
Second.
So at Township Hall, you said. Who seconded it, Jerry? Ms. Kaplan?
Yes.
Mr. Mountain?
Yes.
Ms. Close? I'm sorry, Ms. Shields.
Yes.
Jenny's here in spirit. Mr. DeChristopher?
Yes.
And Ms. Brown?
Yes. We're really messing you up by sending you to this phone.
I know.
I
told her, I'm like, I bet the seating arrangement is tough.
Who became Carrie's Darcy and
They pay you guys extra for
Kara's
that.
Angela.
All right, excellent. Have we any other business to bring before the zoning commission tonight? So it says on our agenda here, next scheduled meeting is November 25th. We just Change that to the 11th.
I would imagine that would need to be, if that's the case, that would need to be a special meeting.
So,
Did we publish that last year, or did we not have a meeting on that day?
Administrator Hale said that offices would be closed Veterans Day, at least this year, so if it
And I
hasn't.
think we talked about that.
Did we
2
publish
meetings
it?
ago.
Yeah, I think we had it on our schedule last year when we published it.
We can confirm, but it's just something to keep in mind, if the 11th was not a regularly scheduled meeting, it'll be a special meeting. But our office can work with staff to make sure that a notice goes out and that sort of thing.
It might be in the book.
Oh yeah, it should be in the
yeah, because we
December.
did do that at our last organizational meeting. We
Okay,
published our dates.
Absolutely.
What's, yeah,
Did we do that in, December, right? I think that's when we did all of our dates.
Yes.
December 10th last year.
Was it December 10th that we had that meeting?
So I'm looking at,
The calendar. Should have been in the minutes from the December meeting.
that's what I'm looking at, and I don't see it.
Okay. I'll look under,
Oh, is the book only 2025?
no, it's got 2024, and it has,
Oh, I'm reading it. Mr. Hedges said it's a 10-pound sausage jam in a 2-pound wrapper.
it's got agenda item 2025 BZC regular meeting dates. The BZC dates for 2025 are discussed. Mr. Dosha made a motion to approve BZC meeting dates for 2025 to be second and fourth Tuesdays of each month except December, which will be the second Tuesday only at 7 p.m.
So the 11th is the third Tuesday of the month, so it'll be
No, it's the second.
It's the second.
It is the second.
Yeah.
It's early, or
I
it's,
don't think I'm caffeinated enough today. Oh my gosh, that's how numbering works, it's the second. So yeah, you guys don't need to post a special meeting notice or anything.
Okay, good, thank you.
or do I cancel it and then think we're, I just throw it on there and cancel it if we're not gonna have it? That's
Yeah.
my recommendation.
But are you still gonna put something out on the website about if you have comments and don't want to be there on Veterans Day? Okay.
I remember it's.
Thank you. Okay, we can tease that out. Tara, I have a question for you. Everybody talked about this mowing schedule. Is that something we should consider adding to our
I have
landscape?
that
on
the list.
Do you? Because, yeah, that was well done.
Because we also talked about weed control, like,
Yeah.
the height of some of the things,
Okay.
so.
Okay.
Yeah, I really liked how detailed that was in their plan. That was excellent.
Because I know
It was very
there
helpful.
was discussion about how to word it and how to, like, some people think 2 times is enough, some people think 4
Right.
times is enough.
Right.
Well, and some people don't know whether it's just weeds or if it's really a grass.
Yes.
Because you, I mean, unless you go in there, you don't know.
So, yeah, I kind of was impressed by that. I mean, okay.
So one thing is that we were talking about updating the resolution is our zoning resolution calls for this big of a.
Yes, it does.
So-
We need to change that.
To change.
Yeah,
we-
let's change it to be
online,
smaller.
We said
What were
maybe
you
like
getting
2
before?
copies of
Yeah.
this big for like if,
For the zoning office?
for the zoning office, like if we wanna come in and look at something more detailed. But then the rest be 11 by 18, which can be folded into the. box.
Yes.
Yeah, Jerry, were they, because it's weird, because it does look like, so I got an email from Cindy and she said that 22 by 34 is required. They wanted to use 24 by 36. I was like, ooh, I was like, you should probably just go with
And
what's
that's
in the
because
code.
it's probably double and then triple.
Okay,
It's
that would be
34.
real, can you imagine how big that would be? So I said, I would just, to be safe, acting as a zoning inspector for 1 minute, I said, you should probably just go with what the code says, but someone else must have been providing a different size all these years, but.
Yeah, this was surprising.
This was.
What size do you guys want
And then
then? What's a
build
good
it.
size?
It would be, like the maps are 11 by 18, because they can be
Oh,
folded.
folded
in.
out, okay.
Right.
Yeah, add that to the list, because that's kind of a hassle there.
Yeah. It's surprising nobody else has done it. Who knew? Okay, maybe we'll have time to work on our zoning resolutions sometime. Has anybody gotten to look at the red line? I get about a page and a half in, and then I'm like distracted. And then I start over. Okay, well, it's on our homework list for someday, hopefully not too far in the future. All right, anything else? We ready to actually go home before 8 p.m.?
Yeah.
That's freaky. Okay. Anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
Time change this weekend. All back, thank goodness, not push ahead. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
We don't want to do that again.
Adjourn then, thank you.